Have you ever wondered what your purpose is? Have you ever wondered, it's just literally like, why was I created? Why was I born? Have you wondered if there's meaning to life? What is the point of all of this? And I want to share with you today how I discovered my purpose in a matter of 3 months, and it changed absolutely everything. It changed my relationship with my children. It changed my work. It changed my inner peace and joy. It changed how I ate. It changed what time I went to bed. It changed. Listen, I am serious when I say it changed everything, including getting me to start a YouTube channel. I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone else, but for whatever reason, a lot of times when we're asking this question about purpose, about calling, about life and meaning, it's because we've either been through something really difficult or are in something really difficult. And that's my story. A few years back, I was in the most horrific situation in my life. But during this season, I really started asking myself this question, like, why am I even here? What's the point? What am I created for? Am I just filling space? And it becomes even more so. You may feel like you're filling space, especially if maybe you're in a circumstance that is saying that to you either directly or indirectly. Maybe it's an individual, maybe it's the government, maybe it's people around, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your job. And someone is in some way saying to you that you don't matter. So the question comes up, well, what's my purpose? Maybe for you, it's just you're tired of the mundane and you've been doing the same thing. And so you feel like a hamster on a wheel and you're like, this is not life. There's got to be more. And so I'm going to share from my story how I came to find my purpose in 3 months. I know 3 months does not seem like such a short time, but it was so short because of the impact it's had. So let's get into it. During my very difficult season, during my season of hell on earth, and I use that word appropriately, it felt like a season of hell and fire and just death and destruction and loss. During that season, I went through all the phases: the anger, the denial, the grappling, the mourning, and then the seeking began. And I started seeking. It was only God's mercy. So I prayed a lot. So a lot of my prayers were angry. I yelled a lot. I maybe threw tantrums. But I started seeking. God was so merciful to me. I started seeking and I started listening to YouTube content that was speaking to my situation. It was short clips of sermons and then longer sermons and then podcasts and then people who've become my coaches. I just started digging and digging and digging. When I'd find something, I have a thirst for knowledge. I'm like a professional student, right? I really like learning. I like research. I love it. So I was just going deep and deep and deep and deep and just going deep and wide, covering all bases, parenting and health and whatever. I'm trained as a nurse and as a health advocate and coach. And so I recognized that I was grappling, I was fighting the inevitable depression if I wasn't fighting up. I had to be pushing literally with everything within me to not just drop. And sometimes I'd feel like I'm falling and I just catch myself and not in my own strength. Again, I was praying through this and just push back up. I got a counselor. So again, not in my own strength. I had friends, I had family, and just everybody working with me to push upwards. And it was during this time that I heard the simplest, most beautiful, succinct way of finding your purpose. And let me say this, because this is not one, the only way to find your purpose. Two, it may not even lead you to your ultimate purpose. And this is what I mean by that. It is extremely easy to turn a moving car. You just, okay, you're going this way. GPS says turn right. You turn right. You're moving. A car in motion is easy to turn. A car that's standing still is horribly difficult to turn. And so, what do I mean by that? I mean, even if you find purpose enough to get you going, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Ultimately, as a believer, I believe as a Christian that God is my guide and He's going to send me over here and He's going to call me over there. And over there is going to be something beautiful for me. So I'm going to go over there. And then the time may come for me to go somewhere else. But the important thing is to get moving with a sense of purpose. Does that make sense? Okay, let's continue. So, the simplest, most succinct way to find your purpose, and I heard this from a man named Myron Golden. And he said, find something that you're passionate about, something you're like, oh man, I really like to do this. This thing, like gardening. So I have a sister who is so passionate about her garden. I mean, she will map out the whole garden and she will know exactly where every kale plant is going to be and the Swiss chard. And so before it's in the ground, she will be like, that's going to be a this, and the tomato is going to be here, but there's going to be a tomato right in this spot right here, and next to it is going to be a marigold, and then next to it is going to be a pepper, and then right across from it is going to be, she knows everything, everything. She's so passionate about it. Okay, so you find things that you're passionate about. She's also passionate about baking, right? So it's not just one thing. And she's really good at baking. Like, excellent. If you ever had her baked goods, like you wouldn't even want to get the store-bought version anymore. But she lives in Michigan, so far from me. Anyways, I'm in Kentucky, if you're wondering. So find your passion and then find your proficiency. What's a proficiency? Something you're good at. So there's the thing of, whoa, I love to do this and this and this and this and this. And then I'm really good at this and this and this and this and this. And he said, okay, wherever your passions and your proficiencies cross, it's like, oh, I really love baking. Oh man, I'm really good at making bread. Oh, I make some good bread. You've got a match. Ding, 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 ding. But I'll tell you the difficulty with someone who's searching. I had that difficulty. I came up with, oh, I have passions. I could see them because I'm like, even if I had to go back and say, I used to love to do this. Because when you're in a difficult time, you may not currently feel your passions, but you can go back a few years and say, 10 years ago, what did I like to do? I liked to do this and this and this and this and this. And then when it came to proficiencies, what am I good at? I had been made to feel like I'm no good at all. So I could not find anything I was good. I'm like, I must not be good at anything. And I heard someone else say, if you don't know what you're good at, text, call, message, email 5 to 10 of your closest contacts and ask them, hey, what do you think I'm good at? It can just be that. Or you can ask them, hey, if you were to come to me with a question about something in your life, what would it be about? So someone might say, oh, I definitely always come to you when it comes to sourdough. Like I cannot figure out sourdough baking and I always have to ask you a question about it. Or someone might say, I always come to you when I need advice on my children sleeping because you somehow figured out how to get your kids to sleep at night. Yeah, I'm really good at it. I've helped so and so and so and so and so and so. Okay, that's great. And someone might else might come, but you're gonna see that there's some common threads. There may be a few people who say the same thing. You're like, I must be good at it. Just accept it. Accept it right now. Just take it for what it is. Say, I must be good at it. Okay. Now see if it lines up with one of your passions. And if it lines up with one of your passions, you have a match. You have a match. And so this is an easy process to find your purpose, because now where your passion meets your proficiency, you may find that you have two or three. Now just pick one. Remember, this is about getting the car moving. You're going to go in the direction of your purpose. That may be your ultimate thing. And of course, I cannot I cannot finish without saying this simple but profound thing. Pray. Pray. There is nobody, not me, not your mama, not your auntie, not anyone who can fully give you a calling, tell you what your purpose is, except for your creator, the person who made you. Oh my, I've heard this really hilarious, like it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous example of purpose and calling and the meaning of life. And it's that if you take a I'm going to use Porsche as an example because it's such a cute car. A little Porsche, right? The cutest of them all. You guys have seen them on the road. They're so cute. They're beautiful. I have 5 children, so it's not gonna work for me, okay? Maybe one day when I'm retired. But if you take that beautiful Porsche and buy that, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then put it on your front yard. Oh, it looks so beautiful. And then cut the top off or drop the top down if it's a convertible. And oh, now it looks so fancy. And then fill that thing up with sand and put a tree in it. Now all you have is a very ridiculous and ridiculously expensive tree pot. That was Myron Golden. Yes, that was one of his examples for sure, because it's pretty funny. And a lot of us do that with our lives. Someone can tell you a purpose, someone can give you a purpose, someone can tell you what they think, but the manufacturer of Porsche, of that beautiful convertible car, can tell you its purpose better than that ridiculous neighbor or aunt who said, it would be so cute as a flower pot. True, but that's ridiculous. It hasn't lived its purpose. So ask God, even if you feel like you can't, because God is the most parent of parents. When we're upset with our children and they're hungry, we feed them. Upset with our children. That's a strong way to put it. Upset, well, I guess you could be upset with them. Yeah, it's more of them being upset with us, honestly. But even if it's the other way around, if you're disappointed about a decision that they've made, or something really hard and even the worst thing that you can imagine, and they've done this worst thing and they're hungry, you will still prepare them a meal. Most likely, if it's in your power, you'll prepare them their favorite meal. You'll be like, okay, honey, what would you like? Would you like would you like a grilled cheese with tomato soup? Would you like a sandwich? Would you like whatever it is? And you'll make it for them. So regardless of how you feel about God, if you want to know your true purpose, ask Him. Ask Him. Just ask. See what happens when you just ask. Why am I whispering, you guys? You might not be able to hear me, but I hope you can hear me anyway. And I hope you'll have an aha moment. If you do, please share it in the comments below. Let's watch you come to life. And if you will allow us, let us become an accountability for you. Say, wow, you found your purpose? That's great. You know, a part of my journey to finding my purpose is I had this big brown sheet. You know, these rolls that you buy in like Lowe's and Home Depot? It's this brown paper, this craft paper, and I had this big thing, and I used tacks, and I pinned it on this big wall that I had, and then I would take this markers and these pens and write on it, and every time I had a thought, I'd come back to it and add to it and add to it and add to it. I have a picture of it, and it formed a lot of what is going on today in my life. Just simple beginnings. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just get the car started and in motion. And as you go, your God GPS will turn you if you need to, turn you around if you need to, but you will get to your destination. Find your purpose, live out your peace, and live truly your best life ever. Thank you for spending time with me this afternoon. I'm a bit low-key. I'm in chill mode. I may actually be hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. All right, bye.